Hi, my dear lovely students. How are you? In this video, we are going to talk about how to prepare for CAT 2022. Before we begin, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Juhi Narula. I have 12 years of experience in training students for various competitive exams. I also happen to be a life skills coach and a content creator. I've done my bachelor's in technology and master's in business administration. This is our Telegram channel. So please do join the Telegram channel so that you get the notifications. Now, when we talk about preparations, I always suggest that you should begin early. When we start early, we get more time to work on our concepts and we get better fundamental clarity. So you can develop appropriate reading habit, you can work on your vocabulary, you can work on the grammar rules. There would be no rush, right? So this is an added advantage. And over the years, I have seen this that the students who have begun early have performed exceptionally well in the exams. So my first suggestion would be that decide from today that you're going to, dedicate yourself for the next 10 months and you're definitely going to achieve 100 percentile, right? Second important thing is that while we begin, we should always begin with a mock test. Now, at times, this really raises a question among students that we haven't started with our preparation. We don't know much about the paper or how to solve the questions, or we don't have much of fundamental clarity. So, how will we be able to perform well in the mock? The point is that we are going to appear for a mock to understand that where do we stand and what are our weak areas, what are our strengths. At times what happens is that there are a lot of students who would have this confidence that they'll be able to do well in verbal and they would require a lot of help in quant, and there are students who have got entirely a different thought process or perspective. But when you give the mock, you would realize that at times you might need to put an extra effort in verbal you thought you would not need, but the things are really different. Or the other way around, that you felt that quant is going to be a cakewalk, but you are struggling to solve some types of questions. So you will get absolute clarity, and with that open mind, you will be able to learn better. You'll be able to get a better hold of your improvements. See, you have a initial score, so if you are preparing, if you're putting an effort, and then when you appear for the next mock, you would know how much progress you have made. Without giving a mock, you would not have a benchmark that from where did you start and how far you have reached. So it's always wise to begin with the mock, and the second step is analyze it. It's not only for the first mock, but any mock that you give. Strong analysis is the need of the hour. If you are just giving the mocks without analyzing, you will never have an improvement in your score, right? So how do we analyze our mocks? We do SWOT analysis, right? So it's a very interesting terminology, and usually it's taught in MBA courses that how do you go for your SWOT analysis? You identify your strengths, right? So if you thought that you are good in verbal, what is your area of strength? Are you doing well in reading comprehensions or in para jumbles or in summary based questions? So you will know that these are the areas where I need to put less effort, right? Then you would be having some weaknesses where you are finding really difficult to cope up with the questions, or you are trying but you're not getting the correct answers. So when you are able to identify what are your weaknesses, you would know where to improve, right? Next is opportunities. There are certain workable areas, like I'm not doing really bad in it, but neither I'm good. So I'm getting some questions correct, some incorrect. So here you would be considering them as your opportunities. So these are workable areas where if you'll put some effort, you'll quickly see the improvements and scores getting better. And then there would be some type of questions here where you'll be absolutely threatened. That means you'll be scared even to attempt the questions. Like I still remember that when I was in school, I was really scared of law questions. I wouldn't even attempt the question and I would know that I will not be able to. So these are certain areas, if you are able to identify, here you should seek an expert's help, right? Without having somebody to hold your hand, you would find it difficult to overcome the fear, right? There would be at times some easy techniques, some strategies, some concepts, some fundamentals that will help you overcome the fear, and you would be more equipped and more aware how to tackle those questions, right? So if you are planning to actually start your preparations, I would strongly recommend that invest at least 2 to 3 hours to do a rigorous SWOT analysis for each section, right? So once you get clarity, try and explain yourself that what are the nitty-gritties that you need to take into account, and if you have to do it for each question, do it for each question. What did you think? How was the right approach to deal with the question, or what could be done better? And slowly and gradually, with such perspectives, you will be able to see remarkable progress happening. Make effort and ensure that the effort is in the right direction, right? So what do we do now? We have already understood that how do we begin. So once we start, what are the nitty gritties that we should take into account to get better? So first important phase of any preparation is when we get fundamental clarity. Otherwise, if you see from the first day start working on the previous year questions without knowing the basics, you wouldn't even know that where are you facing difficulty, and you would not get the questions right. So that's not good for our confidence also. So get fundamental clarity. You should know the basics, and then you can learn the tricks. But without knowing the basics, if you'll go for shortcuts, tricks, strategies, you wouldn't be able to get a great score. Now, especially if we talk about the verbal ability and reading comprehension part, you have to start reading, and aggressively you need to read. So, even when you are reading an article, try to get a summary out of it. Try to identify what is the main idea, primary purpose of the discussion. Look for the tone. If there are certain words that you are new to you, ensure that you're noting them down and you are putting an effort to understand the meaning of those words, right? And make a plan where you would be giving mocks at regular intervals. Mocks are just not to be given while you are approaching your exam date. It should be at least 1 to 2 mocks every month to begin with should be your plan, right? Now, like I said, that any mock, if you're not following by rigorous analysis, that doesn't give you an output. So just after you'll analyze, you'll understand that okay, I'm not doing well in para jumble, so from now on I need to make more effort, right? Or maybe with reading comprehension, I'm not able to solve the implicit questions, the questions which are based on overall understanding of the text. This is a weak area. So until and unless this understanding is built, you will be making the same mistakes again and again, and then we will not see the improvement in our scores, right? So it's always important that once you give a mock, don't get intimidated by the result, but see that have you made an improvement from the previous score. If not, then you have to check that whether the effort is in the right direction. If you have made improvement, great. And see that every test, try to see that how can you become better, right? So this is very very important. Maintain an exclusive diary, or if you would want to do it on your laptops, there should be certain documents which are exclusive, where you're doing your analysis, jotting down your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, and this should be done after each mock, right? Then always make a plan. See, every student has got a different requirement. There would be some students who might just feel confident after doing 10 passages. There would be ones who would need 20 passages to be practiced to get into the rhythm. There would be some students who might need 50 passages, and it is absolutely fine, right? It's a skill set that we are acquiring. My brother learned how to drive scooty in 2 days. It took me a week to learn, right? So it is fine. There is no competition. You are competing against your own self. So you should become better, you know, every passing day. And that's something that you should set as a goal. So if somebody is studying for 2 hours and you need more time, or you need more passages, then study for 5 hours, right? But make a plan that you can actually follow. Just don't make a random plan, people at times we see students are making plans which are actually not feasible, right? So that wouldn't really work. Make a plan and stick to it. Just don't do it like this, that one fine day you're following it, for a week you're following it, and then your motivation enthusiasm goes down, and then you say okay, बाद में देख लेंगे कर लेंगे. ऐसा कुछ मत करिए. Stick to your plan. That's very very important. Like I say, consistency is the key. So that's really important. Decide how would you manage your time for vocabulary building, how would you manage time for grammar rules, how would you manage time to attend live classes, when do you intend to give the mock, how would you be solving the previous year questions, or from where would you begin the next round of question solving. So all these things have to be planned. Maybe start by making a week's plan, and then you can get into the details however it suits you, but do planning and do stick to it, right? Next important thing is that at least, if not more, dedicate 5 hours in a week, right? This is the bare minimum requirement. If you can get more time, nothing like it. But if you're a working professional, or if you're a college going student, or you have a lot of things to do, I would still recommend that at least 5 hours of preparation in a week. And instead of just putting it on weekend, I would recommend that invest half an hour to 40 minutes on daily basis. Instead of, maybe you can study more on weekends, right? And every day, if you're just giving 40 minutes to your preparation, on weekends you can give 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours if needed. But just don't do it like this, that you're not studying from Monday to Friday and you're just studying for 2 days. That wouldn't really work. Ensure that on daily basis you are giving some stipulated time to work for your exams, right? Now, next is, while we are preparing, we need to cover all the aspects of the exam. So just don't focus. There are students who would say, oh, I'm good at verbal, so I will do verbal later. Or I'm good at quant, I'm really bad at verbal, so let me just channelize all my energy to prepare for verbal. No, never do that. Ensure that you are, covering all the aspects parallelly. Maybe one day if you're doing verbal, next day you can do quant, third day you can do LR, and the next day you can do DI. Or maybe you can give 10 minutes every day to verbal if you're really bad, or 20 minutes or half an hour, and then you can juggle up with other sections. So that you need to strategize how it works. But ensure, don't make this mistake. This is a very commonly seen mistake, where students would put their focus on the weak areas, and vice versa also. If they are good at quant, they are getting good results, they will just keep on practicing quant. Or if they're good at verbal, they're getting good results, they'll continue to put the efforts in verbal. No, you need to get better in other section also. Then only you'll get an overall percentile, right? So please ensure that you don't make such mistake. This is a very commonly seen mistake, and I'm again requesting not to get into this, right? And now it's very important, like I say, effort in the right direction. So whatever questions you are doing, whatever source you are opting to practice, ensure that it is very much in sync with the need of your exam. Don't do anything which is not covered in the paper. It might help you to build your logic, of course. Nobody can deny that. But as much as possible, try to attempt the questions which will appear in the exam, right? Maybe you're solving a lot of easy questions, but that sort of difficulty level you're not going to encounter in CAT, right? So please ensure that whatever you are doing, that should give you a benefit, and the best way is to see your scores in mock test improving, right? So tracking progress, like I said, is very very important. Just don't randomly prepare. See that this time I did 5 para jumbles, it took me 20 minutes. Okay, next day, has the time reduced from 20 to 19, or is it still the same, or maybe I'm taking more time, right? With such nitty-gritties, with such details, you have to do your evaluations. You have to track your progress in terms of time, in terms of getting questions right, in terms of words per minute that you are reading in the comprehension. The How are you feeling while you're giving the mocks? Are you feeling confident with each mock that you're appearing for, or there is a feeling where you feel dwindled? So this is something that you need to exclusively work on. Just without numbers, without having a proper planner, without tracking the details, doing it superficially would not give you results, right? It's a very prestigious exam. Success rate is, I'm sure you're already aware, right? So you need to give your best shot, and you need to show utmost sincerity, right? And next is stay motivated. So like I say that you feel really aggressive for a week and then you slow down and then you give up, or there's a wedding and you would just want to attend that family wedding, and you leave your preparation. See, like I said, stakes are very high and competition is immense. So we need to ensure that our motivation levels remain exceptionally high. There can be few days where you would not want to study at all. That's fine, but that should not be an occasional or a frequent thing, right? And this is my mantra, that consistency is the key. So ensure that you are making small efforts every day regularly without giving up, and you will see some great improvements, great results coming your way, right? So do join us for live sessions on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 7 p.m. Help us spread the word. Do like, share, and comment. Keep working hard, keep revising, and don't forget, consistency is the key. Thank you for watching. All the best.